Welcome, weary traveller, to a quiet corner of the night, a space where the gentle hum of discovery replaces the day's clamour. As you settle in, perhaps nestling deeper into your pillow, allow your mind to drift from the immediate concerns and into a world where familiar images gently dissolve, revealing deeper, more intricate patterns. Tonight, we're going to explore something truly fascinating, something that might just surprise you as much as it soothes. We often find solace in the simple, undeniable cuteness of animals. The soft fur, the wide eyes, the playful antics that effortlessly melt our hearts. We imagine their lives as idyllic, free from the stresses and complexities that define our own. But what if this widespread belief, this comforting notion of inherent tranquility in being a cute animal, is one of nature's most artful deceptions, a beautiful illusion that masks a truth far more profound and, in its own way, even more captivating? What hidden purpose does being cute serve in the animal kingdom? Before we gently pull back the curtain on this surprising reality, if you find yourself easing into a state of deep calm as we journey through these hidden truths, please take a quiet moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your gentle support allows us to continue crafting these tranquil explorations of the natural world. And as you drift further into relaxation, perhaps share in the comments below where you're listening from and what time it is there. It's a comforting thought, isn't it? To imagine our peaceful community stretching across the globe, sharing this quiet moment under the vast, shared sky. Tonight, we're going to softly unravel the threads of this endearing illusion, one seemingly innocent creature at a time. We'll discover that behind those gentle eyes and clumsy movements often lies a narrative of resilience, a daily rhythm of survival so intricate that it makes our human anxieties seem almost fleeting. We'll delve into the unexpected nuances of being perceived as cute, and how this perception, far from being a simple gift, can often be a complex aspect of existence. So, as you allow your breath to deepen and your body to relax, let's ponder this. What exactly is the gentle paradox behind the cuteness, and how does it quietly manifest in the lives of creatures we consider the epitome of charm? We begin our soft inquiry into this surprising truth by contemplating the very essence of cuteness itself. What is it about certain animals that whispers to our hearts, triggering that universal "ah" response? Is it the spacious eyes, the rounded forms, the tender proportions, or perhaps a fragile vulnerability they seem to embody? Scientists have long contemplated this phenomenon, often tracing it back to a collection of features that instinctively awaken our nurturing instincts, a quiet biological impulse designed to encourage our care for the young. Imagine a human infant, a large, rounded head, wide, innocent eyes, a delicate nose, and movements that are endearingly clumsy. These are precisely the traits we often find echoed in the animal forms we deem cute. We are, in essence, subtly guided to protect and cherish beings that exhibit these gentle characteristics. Yet, here is where the subtle revelation begins to unfold. While these traits tenderly activate our protective instincts, they can often represent a profound paradox in the wild. Those large, expressive eyes, while captivating to us, can be surprisingly exposed to the elements or to injury. Those soft, clumsy movements, while endearing, can render an animal less swift in escaping a threat or less efficient in securing sustenance. That delicate size, while evoking a desire to cradle, often signifies a higher metabolic demand and a continuous need for nourishment, transforming survival into a constant, quiet quest. So, the very features that bestow cuteness upon an animal in the silent, unyielding realm of nature can often be delicate vulnerabilities rather than distinct advantages. In a world where every morsel of energy counts and every decision can be the delicate balance between life and stillness, cuteness, far from being a simple boon, can be a soft, double-edged sword. Allow your mind to gently wander to the image of a baby seal. With their vast dark eyes and pristine downy fur, they are often seen as the very embodiment of innocence, the quintessential cute creature. We conjure images of them gently rolling on pristine ice floes, seemingly unburdened by worry. Our hearts soften at their trusting gaze. Yet, the quiet reality of a baby seal's existence is anything but carefree. From the very moment of their birth, often into a world of sub-zero temperatures, they face an immediate and profound challenge: the silent imperative of survival. Their thick blubber, which we find so wonderfully appealing, is absolutely vital for insulation, but it is a luxury that takes precious time to fully develop. Until then, they are acutely, tenderly vulnerable to the biting cold. Their inherent clumsiness on land, part of their gentle charm, can make them surprisingly accessible to silent predators like polar bears and cunning wolves. And perhaps most poignantly, their mothers will, with an instinct born of necessity, leave them after just a few short weeks, entrusting these cute bundles of fur to navigate the vast, indifferent expanse of one of the planet's harshest environments on their own. This quiet, abrupt independence, so far removed from our idealized vision of tender nurturing, is a gentle but firm initiation into a life defined by constant vigilance and quiet struggle. So, when we softly gaze upon a cute baby seal, are we truly witnessing pure innocence? Or are we, in a more profound sense, observing the silent, brave beginning of a relentless journey against the elements and an array of formidable ancient predators? This quiet, unwavering reality extends far beyond the hushed, icy expanses. Let us gently turn our attention to another creature, often held aloft as an emblem of unadulterated cuteness, the otter. Whether gracefully gliding through sun-dappled rivers or playfully cracking open shellfish with an almost human-like dexterity, otters exude an undeniable, captivating charm. Their buoyant antics, their sleek forms, and their seemingly joyful expressions have made them beloved figures across our screens. We often imagine their lives as an endless ballet of effortless dives, joyful chases, and gourmet seafood feasts. But beneath this delightful, watery facade lies a life of perpetual, quiet motion and a precarious, delicate existence. Otters possess an incredibly high metabolism, a silent engine that demands a significant amount of food relative to their body size every single day. This isn't merely a preference, it is a desperate, quiet necessity to maintain their warmth and their boundless energy level. The quiet pursuit of food, especially in the chilling embrace of cold water, is an exhausting and often surprisingly dangerous endeavor. They navigate a world of subtle competition from other aquatic hunters, and their watery domain, while providing sustenance, also presents numerous hidden hazards, from the powerful unseen currents to the slow, insidious spread of pollution. Furthermore, their social structures, while appearing to be delightful, cohesive family units, are often surprisingly complex and can be quietly fraught with territorial disputes and subtle power dynamics. The very playfulness we find so utterly endearing is often, in its deepest essence, a quiet form of training for survival, subtly honing their hunting prowess and gently establishing their place within their intricate groups. So, is the otter's life truly a carefree aquatic dance, or is it a relentless, silent pursuit of vital calories and a constant, quiet vigilance against myriad threats, all cloaked beneath the enchanting veil of their irresistible smile? And what of those universally adored, undeniably fluffy creatures, the rabbits? With their soft, twitching noses, their long, sensitive ears, and their delicate cotton tails, they are practically synonymous with innocence and a gentle nature. We picture them quietly nibbling clover in sun-dappled meadows, living a life of serene simplicity. The truth, however, is a gentle but firm reminder of reality. Rabbits occupy a fundamental position at the very base of many food chains. They are the quiet, essential prey for virtually every carnivore larger than themselves. The cunning fox, the silent owl, the swift coyote, the watchful eagle, even the slithering snake, and indeed, our own familiar domestic cats and dogs. Their entire existence is a quiet, continuous masterclass in vigilance and swift escape. Their large, expressive ears, which we find so utterly charming, are in constant, silent motion, swiveling, perpetually scanning for the faintest whisper of danger. Their powerful hind legs, which propel them in graceful, effortless hops, are primarily honed for explosive, sudden bursts of speed, designed purely to evade a looming predator. Their remarkable breeding strategy, often cited as a testament to their prolific nature, is in essence a desperate, quiet measure for survival against overwhelming odds. They bear numerous offspring, not because life is easy, but precisely because so many of their young will inevitably succumb to the myriad dangers of their world. A rabbit's life is a continuous, delicate tightrope walk between finding enough nourishment to sustain its fragile form and avoiding with every fibre of its being becoming nourishment for something else. The gentle rhythmic nibbling we observe is a race against the quiet passage of time, a constant, focused effort to refuel its tiny engine for the next inevitable, sudden dash for safety. So, when we softly observe a fluffy rabbit, are we truly seeing a picture of tranquility? Or are we, in a more profound sense, glimpsing a life quietly defined by constant, subtle fear and the ever-present silent threat of being pursued? This quiet pattern, where an outward appearance of cuteness gently veils a profound underlying struggle, seems to emerge again and again across the vast tapestry of the animal kingdom. Take, for instance, the pikas, those small, wonderfully round and incredibly vocal creatures that quietly resemble tiny, fluffy hamsters, dwelling amidst the rugged beauty of mountainous rockfields. They emit adorable high-pitched eep calls, diligently gather delicate flowers and tender grasses in their mouths, and dart among the weathered rocks with surprising, silent agility. Their industriousness in haymaking, the careful collection of vegetation to dry and meticulously store for the long, lean winter months, is often seen as charming and wonderfully diligent. But their habitat is unforgiving, a silent, powerful force. High-altitude environments are characterized by extreme, often brutal temperatures, scarce and precious resources, and harsh, unyielding weather patterns. Pikas are incredibly sensitive to heat, making them surprisingly vulnerable to the gentle yet relentless rise in global temperatures, which can gradually force them higher and higher up the mountainsides until they quietly run out of suitable, hospitable terrain. Their meticulous haymaking isn't a quaint, charming hobby. It is a desperate, quiet race against the fading light of summer, a profound effort to gather enough sustenance to endure the long, brutal winter when their primary food sources are buried deep beneath a silent blanket of snow. They also face constant quiet predation from swift stoats, cunning weasels, and majestic raptors. Every delicate eep call isn't merely a form of communication. It is often a silent alarm, a soft, urgent warning of potential danger, a whisper in the wind. The sheer, quiet effort required to simply exist in their demanding environment means that their lives are a continuous, rhythmic cycle of foraging, meticulously storing, and silently hiding, leaving very little room for the carefree existence our perception of their cuteness might tenderly suggest. So, is the pika's life truly a delightful mountain retreat, or is it a relentless, quiet battle against the unyielding elements and an ever-present, subtle struggle for daily survival? The gentle illusion of cuteness often extends to animals we consider not just endearing, but also inherently gentle and utterly unthreatening. Consider the manatee, often affectionately known as sea cows. Their slow, ponderous movements, their gentle, almost melancholic expressions, and their seemingly placid nature make them incredibly, profoundly endearing. We imagine them softly drifting through warm, translucent waters, quietly munching on swaying seagrass, embodying a state of perpetual serene tranquility. Yet the quiet reality of the manatee's existence is subtly fraught with peril, much of it, sadly, of human origin. Their slow, deliberate movements, which we find so utterly calming, render them highly vulnerable to boat strikes, which remain one of the leading tragic causes of manatee mortality. Their gentle, unassuming nature means they possess no natural defenses against these powerful man-made machines that glide through their world. They are also incredibly, delicately sensitive to cold water, and the quiet loss of their essential warm water habitats, often due to encroaching human development, directly impacts their very survival. Furthermore, the very seagrass they depend upon for their sustenance is under quiet, relentless threat from pollution and the degradation of their vital aquatic habitats. A manatee's life, far from being a tranquil, effortless glide through sun-dappled underwater meadows, is often a quiet, careful navigation of dangerous waterways, a constant, patient search for diminishing food sources, and a silent struggle against the subtle yet profound changes to their environment. The gentle giants we so admire are in many profound ways quiet relics of a past era, patiently struggling to adapt to a world increasingly shaped by the powerful, often unthinking hand of human activity. So is the manatee's life a blissful aquatic dream, or is it a slow, deliberate, quiet struggle for survival in an increasingly complex and at times hostile environment? Even creatures renowned for their keen intelligence and intricate social complexity gently fall prey to the scandalous lie of cuteness. Consider the lemurs of Madagascar. With their large, inquisitive eyes, their luxuriously soft fur, and their often striking, almost painted markings, lemurs are undeniably captivating, drawing us in with their unique charm. We envision them gracefully leaping through the canopy of trees, meticulously grooming each other, and imagine a life of pure arboreal bliss. Their social structures, while fascinating in their complexity, are often subtly intricate and can involve intense, quiet competition for precious resources and vital mates. Their unique habitat, the ancient, irreplaceable forests of Madagascar, is shrinking at an alarming quiet rate due to deforestation, quietly transforming their daily search for food into a desperate, hurried scramble for survival. Many lemur species are now critically endangered, facing a constant looming threat of extinction, a silent shadow over their existence. The very trees they depend on for both shelter and sustenance are quietly vanishing, forcing them into smaller, more fragmented pockets of remaining forest, which naturally increases competition and their inherent vulnerability. The enchanting calls we sometimes hear echoing softly through the canopy are often not merely joyful social greetings, but urgent alarms, quiet warnings of unseen intruders, or desperate, tender attempts to maintain vital contact with scattered family groups. Their lives, while appearing to be a whimsical, graceful dance through the sun-dappled trees, are a daily, quiet struggle against the relentless tide of habitat loss, dwindling food sources, and the unyielding, subtle pressure of human encroachment. So is the lemur's existence a playful, effortless leap through a verdant paradise, or is it a precarious, quiet balance on the very edge of survival, a testament to their quiet resilience? This pervasive, gentle theme, where the external appearance of cuteness subtly belies a profoundly challenging reality, quietly continues across the remarkably diverse ecosystems of our planet. Let us softly delve into the tranquil world of the koala. These unique marsupials, with their perfectly round, wonderfully fuzzy ears, their perpetually sleepy expressions, and their charming button-like noses, are practically designed by nature to elicit an instinctive, heartfelt awe. We quietly picture them clinging placidly to ancient eucalyptus branches, enjoying a serene life of endless napping and leisurely leaf-eating. The truth, however, is far more sobering, a quiet whisper of reality. Koalas are incredibly specialized feeders, relying almost exclusively on the leaves of the eucalyptus tree. While these leaves are abundantly available, they are remarkably fibrous and surprisingly low in nutritional value, meaning koalas must dedicate an enormous amount of their precious time to eating and patiently digesting, leaving them with very little remaining energy for anything else. Their seemingly sleepy demeanor is not merely a sign of relaxed contentment, but a profound physiological necessity to conserve every precious calorie of energy. Furthermore, eucalyptus leaves naturally contain a complex array of toxins, and koalas have evolved a highly specialized liver to quietly detoxify these compounds, adding another layer of metabolic burden to their already demanding existence. Their arboreal lifestyle, while appearing to be inherently safe, subtly exposes them to profound dangers like devastating bushfires, which have, in recent years, tragically decimated koala populations across their range. They are also highly susceptible to insidious diseases like chlamydia, which can lead to heartbreaking blindness, infertility, and even, tragically, death. Their slow, deliberate movements, while contributing to their docile, endearing image, render them surprisingly vulnerable to opportunistic predators on the ground and to being tragically struck by cars when they, out of necessity, venture down from the relative safety of their trees. The koala's life, far from being a tranquil, eucalyptus-scented slumber, is a perpetual state of slow, deliberate energy conservation and a constant, quiet battle against an array of environmental and health challenges that loom in their quiet world. So, is the koala's life a peaceful, fragrant dream, or is it a continuous, low-energy and often precarious struggle for survival, a testament to their quiet endurance? This surprising and often touching contrast between perceived cuteness and lived reality gently challenges our human-centric biases. We project our own comforting ideals onto these animals, often forgetting that their lives are quietly governed by the precise, indifferent, yet exquisitely beautiful laws of nature. The scandalous lie isn't a malicious deception. It is simply a profound reflection of our human tendency to romanticize and simplify the vast, intricate world that surrounds us. We naturally yearn for comfort and peace, and these cute animals offer a comforting, if sometimes illusory, embrace. But by gently understanding the true nature of their existence, the daily, quiet struggles they bravely face, we are able to appreciate their deep resilience and remarkable adaptability on a much more profound and compassionate level. It gently guides us beyond mere adoration to a more profound, reverent respect for the quiet intricacies and breathtaking beauty of life in the wild. And now, as your mind continues its gentle descent into rest, what about those creatures that stand as the very epitome of cuteness, the enduring symbol of innocence, yet whose lives are arguably among the most uniquely challenging and profoundly solitary in the entire animal kingdom? What about those iconic black and white bears, renowned globally for their endearing clumsiness and their seemingly endless, quiet devotion to bamboo? How does the scandalous lie of cuteness quietly manifest in the lives of these truly singular creatures? And what hidden struggles, what profound, silent narratives lie gently beneath their universally adored facade? As you drift further into peaceful slumber, allow your thoughts to softly contemplate the surprising truth behind these beloved animals, for we will gently explore their world when next we meet. May your dreams be filled with gentle understanding and the quiet beauty of the wild. As the gentle currents of sleep begin to softly pull at the edges of your awareness, let us drift a little further, carried by the quiet revelation that even the most cherished symbols of cuteness can harbor surprising depths. We spoke of seals battling icy solitude, otters ceaselessly seeking sustenance, and koalas serenely conserving every precious flicker of energy. Each, in its own way, unveiled a narrative more intricate than their outward charm might suggest. Now, as the moon perhaps casts its soft glow, or as the first hints of dawn begin to paint the sky, allow your mind to journey to a distant, mist-shrouded mountain range, home to a creature universally adored, a symbol of peace and gentleness. We are, of course, speaking of the giant panda. Its image adorns countless cherished objects. Its presence evokes immediate feelings of warmth and innocence. But what if this cuddly icon, with its distinctive black and white markings and seemingly docile nature, conceals a truth far more nuanced, a side of its existence that reveals a profound solitude and an unexpected strength? What if the very cuteness that makes it a global darling also masks a fierce independence and a relentless struggle for the continuation of its lineage? Tonight, we will gently explore the quiet paradox of the panda, peeling back the layers of its iconic image to reveal a creature exquisitely adapted to its niche, yet navigating a world of profound solitude, immense power, and surprising vulnerability. We'll delve into the very nature of its existence, understanding how its gentle appearance belies a formidable strength, a strength essential for its survival in a world of tough bamboo. We'll also consider the delicate balance of its family life, a cycle far more challenging than one might imagine. So, as you settle deeper into your restful space, let us quietly unveil the hidden facets of this beloved, enigmatic bear. How does an animal so widely cherished for its cuddly appearance also possess one of the most powerful bites in the animal kingdom? A force capable of crushing the toughest plant matter with silent precision. The giant panda, with its distinctive patches of black and white fur, its endearing, lumbering gait, and its seemingly perpetual state of peaceful bamboo consumption, has captivated human hearts across the globe. It is a creature so universally beloved that it has become a potent symbol for conservation, a cuddly ambassador for the wild. Yet, beneath this comforting facade of docile gentleness lies a fascinating and at times surprisingly intense reality. Pandas are by nature profoundly solitary creatures. Unlike many other bear species that might congregate at food sources or form more extended social bonds, the panda largely prefers its own company, navigating the dense bamboo forests of central China with a quiet, independent spirit. Their vast territories are meticulously marked with scent, a silent language communicating their presence and boundaries to other pandas. This solitary existence is not a sign of loneliness, but rather an ancient adaptation, allowing them to efficiently forage for the enormous quantities of bamboo required to sustain their large bodies without constant competition. It is a life lived largely in quiet self-sufficiency, a testament to their deep connection with their environment. Imagine, if you will, the sheer scale of the bamboo forest that a single panda considers its domain. These aren't small patches, but vast, often rugged mountain slopes, teeming with the specific bamboo species they require. Within these sprawling territories, a panda moves with a deliberate, unhurried rhythm, their powerful limbs carrying them through dense undergrowth and over challenging terrain. Their senses are finely tuned to their environment. A keen sense of smell helps them detect the subtle scent markings of other pandas, signaling whether the territory is occupied or if a potential mate is near during the fleeting breeding season. Their acute hearing allows them to perceive the subtle rustle of bamboo leaves, the distant calls of other forest dwellers, and the approach of any disturbance. This constant sensory input informs their solitary movements, guiding them to the freshest bamboo shoots, the safest resting spots, and the most secluded denning sites. They are masters of their secluded world, each movement a silent assertion of their presence within their chosen realm. The quiet hum of the forest is their constant companion, a symphony of rustling leaves and distant bird calls, punctuated only by their own rhythmic crunching of bamboo. Their solitude is not an emptiness, but a space filled with the subtle details of their daily existence, a deep, primal connection to the very earth beneath their paws. This preference for isolation is deeply ingrained in their behavior from a very young age. Even after a cub becomes independent from its mother, usually around 18 months to 2 years old, it will embark on its own solitary journey to establish a territory, often quite some distance from its mother's. This dispersal mechanism helps to prevent inbreeding and ensures that individual pandas have enough resources to sustain themselves. While they're not aggressively territorial in the way some other predators might be, they maintain a respectful distance from one another, largely avoiding direct confrontations. Encounters are rare and usually brief, often involving subtle vocalizations or scent-marking reaffirmations of boundaries. It is a delicate dance of avoidance, a quiet understanding between these powerful yet peaceful bears. So, how does this profound solitude, this preference for quiet independence, shape the daily life and survival strategies of a creature so often imagined in playful pairs or family groups? And how does an animal seemingly so gentle manage the formidable task of consuming up to 30 pounds of tough, fibrous bamboo every single day, a task that demands a hidden, surprising strength? One of the most striking paradoxes of the panda's existence lies in its apparent softness, masking an incredible power. While their movements might seem slow and deliberate, and their expressions endlessly serene, their anatomy reveals a formidable design, perfectly suited for their unique diet. The panda's diet consists almost exclusively of bamboo, a plant that, while abundant, is remarkably tough and fibrous. To process such a challenging food source, the panda possesses an extraordinary biting force. Imagine, if you will, the pressure needed to effortlessly crush dense stalks of wood. The panda's bite force can exceed 1,300 newtons. To put that into perspective, that's a bite stronger than many large predatory carnivores, a silent testament to the immense power concentrated within their seemingly gentle jaws. This isn't the bite of aggression, but rather the bite of necessity, an evolutionary marvel tailored to their very survival. Their powerful jaw muscles, robust skulls, and specialized teeth, including large, flat molars, are all exquisitely adapted for grinding and crushing this fibrous plant material. Each bite is a precise, powerful action, enabling them to extract the meager nutrients from bamboo, a silent, daily feat of strength that underpins their entire existence. Consider the meticulous process involved in a panda's meal. It is far more intricate than simply nibbling leaves. A panda will carefully select a bamboo stalk, perhaps a fresh shoot or a more mature stem. Then, with its robust forepaws, it strips away the tough outer layers, much like peeling a banana, revealing the softer, more digestible pith within. This dexterity, often overlooked in their cuddly image, is crucial. Their pseudo-thumb, an enlarged wrist bone, functions with remarkable precision, allowing them to grasp and manipulate the bamboo with an efficiency unique among bears. Once the stalk is prepared, the true power of their jaws comes into play. With each rhythmic crunch, the powerful muscles surrounding their jaw apply immense pressure, pulverizing the fibrous material against their broad, flat molars. It is a slow, methodical process, each mouthful a testament to their specialized physiology. The sound itself, a gentle, continuous grinding and tearing, is a quiet testament to the energy being expended, the raw power required to sustain their large bodies on such a low-nutrient diet. This seemingly peaceful act of eating is in reality a powerful, continuous workout for their entire masticatory system, a silent grind that shapes their very existence. So, when we see a panda calmly munching on bamboo, are we truly witnessing mere placid eating? Or are we observing a masterclass in biomechanical efficiency, a powerful adaptation masked by their serene demeanor? And how does such a powerful creature, capable of exerting such force, navigate the delicate and often unpredictable world of raising its incredibly vulnerable young? Beyond the sheer power of their bite, the panda's surprising strength also extends to instances of defense, particularly when it comes to the fierce protection of their young. While rare, a mother panda's maternal aggression can be formidable. Reports from China's panda reserves, where researchers work tirelessly to protect and understand these magnificent creatures, occasionally detail instances of extreme protectiveness. A mother panda, sensing even the slightest perceived threat to her fragile cub, can display an unexpected ferocity, a stark contrast to her typically tranquil demeanor. This isn't a sign of inherent aggression, but rather a profound instinctual drive to ensure the survival of her precious offspring in a challenging environment where every new life is incredibly valuable. This glimpse into their more assertive side reminds us that beneath the cuddly exterior lies the primal instinct of a wild animal, a powerful will to survive and propagate its kind. Imagine a small, vulnerable cub, perhaps no bigger than a stick of butter, nestled close to its mother in a secluded den. The mother panda, typically calm and deliberate, would be on high alert. Her senses, normally focused on the subtle sense of bamboo, would be acutely tuned to any unusual sound, any unfamiliar scent on the wind. If an intruder were to approach, be it a curious researcher, an unwitting hiker, or another animal, the mother panda's demeanor would shift almost instantaneously. The calm, placid expression would be replaced by a low growl, a guttural warning rumbling deep in her chest. Her powerful limbs, usually used for climbing and walking, would tense, ready to spring into action. She might stand on her hind legs, appearing even larger and more imposing, her formidable claws extended. This display is not for show, it is a serious, unequivocal declaration of her intent to protect. Any further encroachment would likely be met with a swift, powerful charge, her sharp claws and immense bite force becoming tools of defense rather than digestion. These instances are rare precisely because pandas generally avoid conflict, but they serve as a powerful reminder of the underlying wildness and strength that resides within these seemingly gentle creatures. It highlights the profound dedication of a mother panda to her cub, a bond so strong that it overrides her solitary nature and typical placidity. This protective instinct is a crucial element in the survival of a species with such low reproductive success, where each cub is an incredibly precious gift. So, when we picture a panda mother cradling her cub, are we only seeing tenderness, or are we also sensing the silent, powerful strength of a protector, ready to defend her vulnerable offspring against any perceived threat, a strength born of pure instinct? And why is it that, despite this fierce dedication, the reproductive success of pandas remains remarkably low, making the survival of each cub a precious and often precarious triumph? The journey of panda reproduction is perhaps one of the most poignant illustrations of the scandalous lie of their cuteness. Despite their global adoration and the immense efforts dedicated to their conservation, pandas face significant reproductive challenges, making the continuation of their species a delicate and often arduous endeavor. Female pandas are only fertile for a very brief window each year, typically just 24 to 72 hours, creating a profound bottleneck for successful breeding. This short estrus period means that male and female pandas, living their largely solitary lives across vast territories, must find each other, mate successfully, and conceive within a remarkably tight time frame. This biological constraint alone presents an immense challenge in the wild. Adding to this complexity is the fact that male pandas, despite their impressive size, can sometimes be surprisingly clumsy or inexperienced in mating attempts, especially in captive environments. In the wild, the brief window of fertility, combined with their solitary nature, means that finding a suitable, receptive mate is a critical race against time. The female will often vocalize during her estrus, emitting a unique bleating sound to attract males from neighboring territories. Males, driven by these calls, will then embark on a journey, sometimes covering significant distances, guided by scent markings and vocalizations to locate the female. Even once they find each other, successful mating is not guaranteed. It requires precise timing, cooperation, and often multiple attempts. This delicate dance of courtship and connection, happening perhaps only once a year, is a quiet testament to the hurdles pandas face in simply perpetuating their kind. The very rarity of these encounters makes each one profoundly important for the survival of the species. So, considering these complex challenges, how does a species with such a narrow reproductive window manage to sustain its lineage, even with the intense conservation efforts in place? Furthermore, even when conception occurs, the road to successful cub rearing is fraught with difficulties. Pandas typically give birth to 1 or 2 cubs and sometimes even 3. However, data from China's panda reserves gathered through years of dedicated observation and meticulous record-keeping reveals a stark truth. In litters of 2 or more, it is incredibly rare for more than 1 cub to survive in the wild. This is largely due to the mother's inability to adequately care for multiple offspring, a harsh reality of resource limitation and evolutionary adaptation. The tiny, vulnerable cubs, born blind and almost hairless, are incredibly delicate, weighing only about 100 grams, roughly the size of a stick of butter. They are entirely dependent on their mother for warmth, nourishment, and protection. Imagine this fragile beginning. A newborn panda cub is perhaps the most underdeveloped mammal at birth relative to its mother's size. It is utterly helpless, a tiny pink bundle that relies entirely on the mother's immense body for warmth, for sustenance, and for constant protection. The mother must dedicate herself completely to this tiny life, often holding the cub in her paw or against her chest for hours on end, nurturing it with precious milk. If she has 2 cubs, the challenge becomes almost insurmountable. Her nipples are spaced in a way that makes it difficult for 2 cubs to nurse simultaneously and efficiently. More critically, the energetic demands of nursing 2 rapidly growing cubs are simply too high for a panda mother to sustain, given her low-nutrient bamboo diet. She cannot produce enough high-quality milk to nourish 2 cubs adequately, especially in the wild where her own energy reserves are constantly being depleted by the sheer volume of bamboo she must consume. This leads to a heartbreaking, yet evolutionarily necessary choice. In the wild, a panda mother will often instinctively select the stronger, more vigorous cub, dedicating her limited resources and energy to its survival, allowing the weaker one to gradually fade. This grim reality is not a lack of maternal care or affection. It is a brutal evolutionary strategy designed to maximize the chances of at least 1 offspring reaching maturity in an unforgiving environment. It ensures that the precious resources invested in reproduction are channeled towards the cub with the highest probability of survival, preserving the genetic line. This inherent low reproductive success, coupled with habitat loss and fragmentation, has historically contributed to the panda's precarious conservation status, making every single surviving cub a monumental triumph against incredible odds. So, when we envision panda cubs, are we seeing abundant life? Or are we witnessing the quiet, precious miracle of survival, a triumph against formidable odds, where each life is an exceptional gift? And how does their specialized diet, while fueling their unique strength, also contribute to the delicate balance of their survival and their very low population numbers? The panda's dietary specialization, while enabling its unique strength and survival in bamboo forests, also presents a profound vulnerability, contributing significantly to its low reproductive success and overall precariousness. As we've discussed, bamboo is the cornerstone of their diet, consumed in vast quantities throughout the day. However, bamboo is notoriously low in nutritional value, especially protein and fat, which are crucial for energy-intensive activities like reproduction and cub rearing. This means that pandas must spend an astonishing amount of their waking hours, up to 14 hours a day, simply eating to extract enough calories to survive. This constant foraging leaves very little surplus energy for other vital functions, particularly those related to reproduction. Consider the energetic balance of a panda's life. Each day is a careful calculation of calorie intake versus energy expenditure. Walking through dense forests, climbing trees, digesting vast quantities of fibrous material, all these activities burn calories. To compensate for the low nutritional density of bamboo, a panda's digestive system is incredibly efficient at processing large volumes, but it still requires constant replenishment. Imagine the sheer volume of material moving through their bodies, up to 30 pounds of bamboo daily, which means processing several tons of bamboo annually for a single panda. This enormous intake of raw material requires a highly adapted gut microbiome to break down the tough fibers, but even then, much of the energy passes through undigested. It's a continuous, low-level metabolic struggle, a quiet race against the clock to consume enough to fuel their large bodies and sustain their slow, deliberate lives. For a female panda, developing eggs, carrying a pregnancy that can last anywhere from 95 to 160 days due to a phenomenon called delayed implantation, which further complicates breeding strategies, and then producing rich milk for a growing cub, demands an immense energetic investment. If her body is constantly struggling to extract sufficient nutrients from bamboo just for her own maintenance, there is very little left over to fuel the demanding process of gestation and lactation. This energetic deficit often results in delayed reproduction, smaller litters, or, as we've seen, the heartbreaking inability to successfully rear multiple cubs in the wild. The cute image of a panda serenely munching bamboo thus masks a continuous, low-level nutritional challenge, a quiet metabolic struggle that shapes their entire life history. It's a delicate balance, where the sheer quantity of their food compensates for its poor quality, but only just. This constant energetic demand, coupled with the limited breeding window and the challenges of cub rearing, paints a picture of a species exquisitely adapted to its niche, yet operating on a surprisingly tight energetic budget. So, as we picture the panda, are we truly seeing a life of endless feasting, or are we witnessing a testament to biological adaptation, a creature perfectly designed to survive on a remarkably challenging food source, a diet that both defines and limits its very existence? And what does their very specific habitat, dictated by this diet, mean for their future in an ever-changing world? The profound reliance on bamboo not only shapes the panda's daily life and reproductive success, but also inextricably links its survival to the health and expanse of its unique habitat. Pandas are found only in the mountainous bamboo forests of central China, a very specific and increasingly fragmented environment. These forests provide not just their food, but also the dense cover they need for shelter, protection from predators, and quiet spaces for cub rearing. The problem, however, is that bamboo forests are themselves vulnerable to human activities, including logging, agriculture, and infrastructure development. As human populations expand, these critical habitats shrink, becoming isolated islands of suitable land. Consider the life of a panda in a fragmented forest. Its ancient pathways used for generations to navigate between different bamboo stands or to seek out mates might now be bisected by a new road, a village, or a cultivated field. This forces the panda to either risk dangerous crossings, potentially encountering humans or vehicles, or to remain confined to smaller, less diverse patches of bamboo. Such isolation reduces the genetic flow between populations, leading to smaller gene pools and making the pandas more vulnerable to diseases and less adaptable to changes in their environment. The genetic diversity, which is crucial for long-term species survival, slowly erodes in these isolated pockets. Furthermore, a significant threat to pandas comes from the natural life cycle of bamboo itself. Different species of bamboo flower and die off in cyclical patterns, which can occur anywhere from 15 to 120 years, depending on the species. In a continuous, healthy, and expansive forest, pandas have the flexibility to simply migrate to areas where different bamboo species are thriving, or where a new generation of bamboo has begun to grow. This natural migration is a critical survival strategy. However, in fragmented habitats, these essential migratory routes are often cut off by human development. Pandas can become trapped in areas where their primary food source is undergoing a natural die-off, leading to severe food shortages and, tragically, starvation. The cute image of a panda in a lush bamboo forest therefore carries a poignant undertone. It is a fragile existence, deeply dependent on the preservation of a very specific, threatened ecosystem. The tranquility we perceive in their bamboo-filled world is subtly underscored by the constant, silent threat of ecological change and human encroachment. When we admire the panda's beauty, are we truly appreciating its timeless existence, or are we acknowledging the silent, desperate plea of a creature intricately tied to a vanishing world, a world where its very survival hangs in the delicate balance of ecological preservation? And what does the future hold for this iconic, solitary creature as conservation efforts intensify and new challenges emerge? The story of the giant panda, from its powerful bite to its challenging reproductive cycle and its dependence on a fragile habitat, is a compelling narrative that quietly underscores the scandalous lie of cuteness. It reminds us that appearances can be profoundly deceiving, and that behind the gentle, universally beloved image of these creatures lies a complex, often arduous reality of survival. Their solitary nature isn't loneliness, it's adaptation. Their strength isn't aggression, it's a necessity for sustenance. And their low reproductive success isn't a failure, it's a testament to the immense biological cost of maintaining their unique ecological niche. Conservation efforts for the giant panda, which have thankfully seen a remarkable recovery in their wild populations, are a testament to human dedication and scientific understanding. Yet, their future remains delicately balanced, dependent on continued habitat protection, genetic management, and a deeper understanding of their intricate needs. The panda, in its quiet, unassuming way, teaches us a profound lesson. True appreciation goes beyond superficial charm. It requires us to look deeper, to understand the intricate web of life, and to acknowledge the hidden struggles and quiet triumphs of every creature. As the soothing darkness of the night envelops you, or as the soft light of dawn gently awakens the world, allow the image of the panda to linger, not just as a cuddly icon, but as a symbol of resilient solitude, surprising power, and delicate vulnerability. Its story is a quiet reminder that even the most cherished beings navigate a world far more complex than we often perceive. And as you drift further into the embrace of sleep, remember that understanding the true nature of these creatures, beyond their captivating charm, deepens our respect and appreciation for the intricate beauty of the natural world. As the gentle currents of sleep begin to softly pull at the edges of your awareness, let us drift a little further, carried by the quiet revelation that even the most cherished symbols of cuteness can harbor surprising depth. We spoke of seals battling icy solitude, otters ceaselessly seeking sustenance, and pandas, with their unexpected power, navigating profound independence. Each, in its own way, unveiled a narrative more intricate than their outward charm might suggest. Now, as your breath deepens and your mind calms, allow yourself to journey to the ancient, eucalyptus-scented forests of Australia, home to a creature that embodies profound tranquility in the popular imagination: the koala. Its plush appearance, its seemingly endless naps, and its gentle grip on a tree branch evoke an immediate sense of peace and simplicity. But what if this cuddly icon, with its soft fur and sleepy gaze, conceals a truth far more nuanced, a side of its existence that reveals a relentless, quiet struggle for energy and survival? What if the very cuteness that makes it a global darling also masks a delicate vulnerability to its environment and a deep reliance on very specific, precious resources? Tonight, we will gently explore the quiet paradox of the koala, peeling back the layers of its iconic image to reveal a creature exquisitely adapted to its niche, yet navigating a world of profound physiological challenges, subtle dangers, and an intimate connection to its fragile habitat. We'll delve into the very nature of its existence, understanding how its gentle appearance belies a constant internal battle for sustenance, a battle essential for its survival in a world of tough, often toxic leaves. We'll also consider the delicate balance of its health and its remarkable journey from a tiny, undeveloped newborn to an independent arboreal dweller. So, as you settle deeper into your restful space, let us quietly unveil the hidden facets of this beloved enigmatic marsupial. What if the koala's famed sleepiness isn't laziness, but a profound energy conservation strategy born from necessity, a silent testament to the demanding nature of its unique diet? The koala, with its distinctively rounded, fluffy ears, its sleepy, innocent eyes, and its endearing button-like nose, has become a universally recognized emblem of Australia's unique wildlife. We picture it clinging placidly to a eucalyptus branch, seemingly in a state of perpetual slumber, a living symbol of serene contentment. This image of the koala as a perpetually sleepy, docile creature is deeply ingrained in our collective imagination. Yet this perception, while contributing to its undeniable charm, quietly obscures a profound biological reality. The koala's renowned lethargy is not a sign of a carefree existence, but rather a crucial and highly evolved strategy for profound energy conservation, a direct consequence of its exceptionally specialized diet. Imagine a creature that relies almost exclusively on eucalyptus leaves for all its nutritional needs. While eucalyptus trees are abundant across vast swathes of Australia, their leaves are, paradoxically, a notoriously poor food source. They are remarkably low in protein and essential nutrients, high in indigestible fiber, and, significantly, contain a complex array of toxic chemical compounds. For almost any other mammal, consuming large quantities of eucalyptus leaves would be lethal. The koala, however, has evolved a highly specialized digestive system to contend with this challenge. Their very long cecum, a part of the large intestine, acts as a fermentation vat, housing a unique microbiome of bacteria and other microorganisms. These microscopic helpers work tirelessly to break down the tough cellulose fibers and detoxify the harmful compounds found in the leaves. This entire digestive process is incredibly slow and energetically demanding. Every bite a koala takes initiates a prolonged and intensive metabolic effort. The energy required to process and detoxify these leaves means that very little surplus energy is left over for vigorous activity. Consequently, koalas must conserve energy whenever possible, and the most effective way to do this is by resting and sleeping for extended periods, sometimes up to 18 to 20 hours a day. Their apparent laziness is a survival imperative, a constant quiet negotiation with their challenging food source. It is a subtle dance between consumption and conservation, where every moment of stillness is a strategic choice. So, when we observe a koala in its seemingly endless slumber, are we truly seeing a picture of blissful inactivity, or are we witnessing a masterclass in metabolic efficiency? A profound adaptation to a diet that demands constant, quiet effort. Given such a specialized and demanding diet, how do koalas manage to find enough energy for anything beyond eating and sleeping, especially for complex social behaviors or reproduction? Beyond their metabolic adaptations, the koala's life in the eucalyptus canopy requires a specialized set of physical attributes. Often we focus on their soft, plush appearance, which makes them seem so huggable. Yet, beneath that inviting fluff lie incredibly powerful limbs and a set of remarkable claws. A koala's claws can measure up to 4 inches in length, sharp and incredibly strong. These are not tools of aggression, rather they are absolutely crucial adaptations for their arboreal lifestyle. Imagine scaling a tall, smooth-barked eucalyptus tree, gripping onto branches that sway in the wind. These long, sharply curved claws provide the purchase, the unwavering grip necessary to navigate their vertical world with surprising agility. This unique morphology enables them to climb, descend, and cling securely, even when buffeted by strong winds or during their occasional leaps between branches. Their grip is so powerful that they can sleep deeply, almost suspended, for hours without fear of falling. However, despite these remarkable adaptations, life in the canopy is not without its inherent risks. Strong winds can snap branches, heavy rains can make bark slippery, and occasionally a koala may simply misjudge a leap or lose its grip, resulting in an accidental fall. While their dense fur and flexible skeletal structure can sometimes cushion these impacts, falls from significant heights can lead to serious injuries, including broken bones or internal trauma. These quiet, unseen incidents are a poignant reminder that even in their seemingly tranquil arboreal domain, koalas face the unpredictable dangers of their elevated existence. The very strength that allows them to thrive in the trees also comes with the inherent vulnerability of living suspended above the ground. So, despite their remarkable climbing adaptations, what unforeseen threats do koalas face in their arboreal homes that are becoming increasingly common and devastating, extending far beyond the occasional fall? As we delve deeper into the koala's quiet struggle, we encounter a profound and often debilitating challenge that silently impacts vast numbers of these beloved marsupials: the widespread prevalence of disease. While their cuddly exterior suggests robust health, many koala populations are battling a persistent and devastating invisible foe, primarily a strain of chlamydia. This bacterial infection, which is different from the human strain, can have truly heartbreaking consequences for koalas. It manifests in various ways, often slowly and subtly, making its presence known through symptoms like ocular disease, which can lead to severe conjunctivitis, causing inflammation, discomfort, and eventually blindness. Imagine a koala, reliant on its sight to navigate the branches and identify food, slowly losing its vision in a dense forest. Beyond the eyes, chlamydia can cause debilitating urinary tract infections, leading to painful and life-threatening bladder diseases. But perhaps most tragically, it profoundly impacts their reproductive system, causing cysts and fibrosis that often lead to permanent infertility in female koalas. This means that even if a female koala survives the immediate effects of the disease, she may never be able to contribute to the next generation, a silent, profound blow to population recovery. The slow, debilitating nature of this disease means that many affected koalas suffer for extended periods, gradually weakening and becoming more vulnerable to other threats. The impact of chlamydia is a major factor in the decline of many koala populations, silently eroding their numbers from within, turning what appears to be a peaceful existence into a continuous battle against unseen adversaries. Adding another layer of complexity to their health challenges is the presence of koala retrovirus, or CoRV. While not directly fatal in the same way as acute infections, CoRV is a type of virus that has become integrated into the koala's genome over many generations, passed down from parent to offspring. Its presence can weaken the koala's immune system, making them far more susceptible to other infections, including chlamydia, and potentially increasing their vulnerability to certain cancers. It's a subtle yet pervasive influence on their overall health, a quiet stressor that compromises their natural defenses. This combination of widespread bacterial infection and an underlying viral vulnerability paints a poignant picture of a species silently struggling against biological challenges. So, with such widespread health challenges, how do koalas find mates and successfully raise young, given the profound biological strain these diseases place on them, especially when their energy reserves are already stretched thin by their diet? The journey of reproduction for the koala is a delicate and often precarious dance, profoundly influenced by the energy limitations of their diet and the pervasive presence of disease. While the image of a mother koala with a joey in her pouch or clinging to her back is undeniably heartwarming, the path to a successful birth and rearing is fraught with silent challenges. Female koalas typically breed once a year, and their gestation period is remarkably short, lasting only about 35 days. What emerges from the mother's birth canal is not the cute, fluffy creature we envision, but an incredibly tiny, underdeveloped joey, resembling a pink, jelly bean-sized embryo, blind and completely hairless, weighing less than a gram. This minuscule joey, guided by pure instinct, embarks on an arduous and solitary journey immediately after birth. It must crawl unaided from the birth canal through its mother's fur into the safety of her pouch. This incredible feat, driven by primitive senses of touch and smell, culminates in finding one of the two nipples within the pouch, where it latches on and begins to feed, remaining there for the next 6 to 7 months. During this crucial period, within the pouch, the joey undergoes rapid development, transforming from an embryonic form into a recognizable koala. It feeds exclusively on its mother's milk, which is specially formulated to provide the precise nutrients needed for its growth. However, as the joey grows, its dietary needs evolve beyond milk. Around 6 months of age, it begins to consume a substance called pap, a specialized form of fecal matter produced by the mother. This might sound unappealing to us, but it is a critical step in the joey's development. Pap is rich in the unique microorganisms from the mother's digestive system which are essential for inoculating the joey's developing gut microbiome, preparing it to digest tough eucalyptus leaves. Without this vital pap phase, a joey cannot survive on a eucalyptus diet. After emerging from the pouch, the joey continues its dependence, often riding on its mother's back for several more months, gradually beginning to nibble on eucalyptus leaves alongside her. This prolonged period of maternal care, extending for up to a year, places an immense energetic burden on the mother, who must not only sustain herself on her low-nutrient diet, but also produce nutrient-rich milk and provide constant protection and transport for her growing offspring. If the mother is already weakened by disease, particularly chlamydia affecting her reproductive organs, her ability to conceive, carry a healthy pregnancy, and successfully nurse a joey is severely compromised. Many females become infertile, or if they do conceive, the joey may not survive due to insufficient milk production or the mother's overall poor health. This delicate balance of energy, health, and a lengthy developmental process makes the successful rearing of each koala joey a silent, hard-won triumph. So, given their dependence on specific trees for food and shelter, how does a koala navigate a landscape increasingly fragmented by human activity? And what does this mean for their long-term survival in the face of these ongoing biological hurdles? The koala's charming appearance and seemingly tranquil existence belie a profound vulnerability to the accelerating changes in its environment, changes largely driven by human activity. Their absolute dependence on specific species of eucalyptus trees for both food and shelter means that habitat loss and fragmentation are the primary and most devastating threats to their survival. Imagine vast ancient eucalyptus forests being gradually cleared for urban expansion, agricultural land, or logging operations. As these forests disappear, koala populations become isolated in smaller, disconnected pockets of trees. These islands of habitat prevent koalas from moving freely to find new food sources, search for mates, or escape danger. This fragmentation has a critical impact on their genetic diversity. When populations are isolated, they can no longer interbreed freely, leading to a reduction in genetic variation. This makes them less resilient to diseases, less adaptable to environmental changes, and more susceptible to local extinctions. Beyond direct habitat destruction, the increased intensity and frequency of bushfires, exacerbated by a changing climate, pose an existential threat. The catastrophic bushfire seasons, particularly the Black Summer of 2019 to 2020, have directly destroyed vast swathes of koala habitat and tragically killed tens of thousands of koalas. These fires burn hotter and faster, leaving little time for the slow-moving koalas to escape and devastating their food trees, which can take decades to recover. Climate change also brings more frequent and severe heat waves, which stress koalas, making them vulnerable to dehydration and heat stroke, especially when they cannot access sufficient water or cooler refuges. Changes in climate can also subtly alter the nutritional quality and toxicity levels of eucalyptus leaves, further compounding their dietary challenges. Adding to these pervasive environmental challenges are more localized, yet significant human-related threats. In fragmented landscapes where koalas are forced closer to human settlements, they face increased risks from road trauma. As they descend trees to move between isolated patches of habitat, they become vulnerable to fast-moving vehicles. Domestic dog attacks are another tragic consequence of koala habitats encroaching on suburban areas. Dogs, often acting instinctively, can inflict fatal injuries on koalas. The image of the koala, passively clinging to its tree, belies a life lived on the front lines of environmental change, where every moment is a quiet negotiation with an increasingly challenging world. The very trees that offer them life also expose them to profound risks, a silent testament to their precarious existence. So, what does the future hold for this iconic fluffy marsupial, as dedicated humans work tirelessly to protect them against the increasing pressures of a changing world? In response to these profound and multifaceted threats, dedicated conservation efforts, notably spearheaded by organisations like the Australian Koala Foundation, are working tirelessly to safeguard the future of this unique species. Their crucial work involves extensive habitat protection and restoration, recognizing that saving the koala fundamentally means saving its trees. This includes purchasing and protecting koala habitats, working with landowners for sustainable land management, and large-scale tree planting initiatives to re-establish corridors and expand existing forests. These efforts are painstakingly slow, but vitally important, as every new tree planted and every hectare of habitat preserved represents a renewed chance for koala survival. Beyond habitat, significant research is being conducted into koala health, particularly focusing on treatments and potential vaccines for chlamydia, as well as understanding the complex role of koala retrovirus. Veterinary science is at the forefront of developing innovative solutions to mitigate the impact of these widespread diseases, giving individual koalas a better chance at survival and reproduction. Population monitoring, often through painstaking field surveys and advanced tracking technologies, helps researchers understand koala numbers, movement patterns, and health status in different regions, informing targeted conservation strategies. Public awareness campaigns also play a crucial role, educating communities about koala-friendly practices, such as responsible pet ownership, driving carefully in koala habitats, and supporting conservation funding. The commitment to protect these beloved animals is global, fueled by a deep appreciation for their unique place in the natural world. Despite the immense challenges, the quiet dedication of these conservationists offers a glimmer of hope for the koala's long-term survival, transforming their hidden struggles into a shared responsibility. The image of a koala, once simply a symbol of passive cuteness, is now evolving into an emblem of ecological vulnerability and the profound importance of human stewardship. The story of the koala, from its energy-depleted existence to its silent battles with disease and its dependence on a fragile, shrinking habitat, is a compelling narrative that quietly underscores the scandalous lie of cuteness. It reminds us that appearances can be profoundly deceiving, and that just behind the gentle, universally beloved image of these creatures lies a complex, often arduous reality of survival. Their sleepiness isn't idleness, it's adaptation. Their sharp claws aren't for aggression, they are essential for life, and their biological vulnerabilities are a testament to the immense evolutionary pressures they face in their unique ecological niche. Conservation efforts for the koala are a testament to human dedication and scientific understanding, driven by a deep desire to protect this iconic marsupial. Yet their future remains delicately balanced, dependent on continued habitat protection, breakthrough research into their health, and a deeper understanding of their intricate needs. The koala, in its quiet, unassuming way, teaches us a profound lesson. True appreciation goes beyond superficial charm. It requires us to look deeper, to understand the intricate web of life, and to acknowledge the hidden struggles and quiet triumphs of every creature. As the soothing darkness of the night envelops you, or as the soft light of dawn gently awakens the world, allow the image of the koala to linger, not just as a cuddly icon, but as a symbol of profound adaptation, silent struggle, and delicate beauty. Its story is a quiet reminder that even the most cherished beings navigate a world far more complex than we often perceive. And as you drift further into the embrace of sleep, remember that understanding the true nature of these creatures, beyond their captivating charm, deepens our respect and appreciation for the intricate beauty of the natural world. As the gentle currents of sleep begin to softly pull at the edges of your awareness, let us drift a little further, carried by the quiet revelation that even the most cherished symbols of cuteness can harbor surprising depths. We have explored the solitary strength of seals, the tireless energy demands of otters, the hidden power of pandas, and the quiet struggles of koalas. Each, in its own way, unveiled a narrative more intricate than their outward charm might suggest. Now, as your breath deepens and your mind calms, allow yourself to journey to the vast, shimmering expanses of the Kalahari Desert, a landscape often imagined as desolate, yet teeming with life, including a creature famous for its charming group dynamics, the meerkat. With their upright posture, their engaging social interactions, and their seemingly perfect communal living, meerkats evoke an immediate sense of warmth and delightful cooperation. But what if this endearing image, with its picture of harmonious huddles and shared duties, conceals a truth far more complex? A side of its existence that reveals a remarkably strict, often unforgiving social hierarchy. What if the very cuteness that makes them so beloved also masks a profound internal struggle for dominance, a subtle yet unyielding control over the lives within the clan? Tonight, we will gently explore the quiet paradox of the meerkat, peeling back the layers of their iconic image to reveal a creature exquisitely adapted to its harsh desert niche. yet navigating a world of profound internal politics, relentless social pressures, and surprising acts of control. We'll delve into the very nature of their group existence, understanding how their charming facade of unity belies a fierce and often quiet competition for reproductive rights. We'll also consider the delicate balance of their cooperative behaviors, understanding how these seemingly selfless acts are interwoven with the strict rules of their intricate social structure. So, as you settle deeper into your restful space, let us quietly unveil the hidden facets of these beloved, enigmatic desert dwellers. What if the adorable images of meerkats huddled together, seemingly living in perfect harmony, conceal a surprisingly strict and often harsh social order, a silent law governing their very existence? The meerkat, with its slender body, watchful eyes, and distinctive upright sentinel stance, has captured the imagination of people worldwide, becoming synonymous with charming cooperation and family unity. We conjure images of them basking in the sun, playfully wrestling, or diligently standing guard, painting a picture of an idyllic communal life where every member contributes equally to the well-being of the group. Indeed, their apparent camaraderie is truly captivating. We see them huddling together for warmth on cold desert nights, a furry, intertwining mass, sharing the precious resource of body heat. During the day, they engage in meticulous mutual grooming, strengthening social bonds with gentle nips and licks, meticulously cleaning each other's fur. Their foraging expeditions often involve a collective effort, where the group moves as one, meticulously sniffing and digging for insects, scorpions, and other hidden delicacies beneath the desert floor. The iconic sentinel duty, where one meerkat courageously stands tall on a mound, tirelessly scanning the horizon for aerial and terrestrial predators, while the others forage, is perhaps the most powerful symbol of their seemingly perfect cooperation. It suggests a selfless dedication to the group, a willingness to sacrifice individual foraging time for the collective safety. This tapestry of shared responsibilities and mutual support fosters the widespread perception of meerkats as purely altruistic and harmonious beings. Yet, beneath this charming facade of unity and apparent egalitarianism, a different, more complex reality quietly unfolds within meerkat society. What if the very fabric of their cooperative existence is woven with threads of deep-seated hierarchy, subtle suppression, and even, at times, a profound hidden ruthlessness? It is a fascinating paradox. A species that thrives on cooperation also possesses a social structure where individual lives are meticulously controlled and personal desires are often subjugated to the will of the dominant few. The Kalahari Desert, their home, is an environment of extremes, demanding unwavering vigilance and efficient resource utilization. This pressure has, over evolutionary time, sculpted a social system that, while ensuring group survival, comes at a significant cost to many individuals within the clan. The seemingly gentle nudges and playful nips we observe can, in fact, be subtle manifestations of dominance, constant reminders of rank within the intricate pecking order. So, beneath this charming facade of unity, what hidden power dynamics truly govern the lives of these seemingly cooperative creatures? And how do they maintain such a tightly knit group structure, even when individual interests might collide? At the very heart of the meerkat clan lies an unyielding power dynamic, centered almost entirely around the dominant female. She is the matriarch, the undisputed ruler, and her position is not merely one of respect, but of absolute reproductive monopoly. In most meerkat groups, it is primarily the dominant female who has the right to breed and produce offspring. All other females in the group, her daughters, sisters, or other relatives, are typically suppressed from breeding. This suppression is not always overt. It can be a combination of physiological stress induced by the dominant female's constant presence and subtle harassment, which can inhibit ovulation in subordinate females. Imagine the quiet, constant pressure exerted simply by the presence of a higher-ranking individual, a subtle force that dictates not just behavior, but even biology. This physiological suppression is often reinforced by behavioral dominance, where the dominant female might aggressively chase, bite, or even physically prevent subordinate females from mating. However, the dominant female's control extends to a truly profound and often disturbing level when it comes to the offspring of any subordinate female who manages to defy this suppression. If a subordinate female somehow conceives and gives birth, her pups are almost invariably killed by the dominant female. This act of infanticide is a harsh, brutal, yet evolutionarily driven strategy. From the perspective of the dominant female, the survival of her own genetic line is paramount. Any other pups born within the group represent a direct competition for the precious limited resources that the cooperative group members are foraging and bringing back. Every insect, every scorpion, every morsel of food contributed by the group is intended to nourish her own offspring, ensuring their robust growth and higher chances of survival. By eliminating rival pups, the dominant female ensures that all available resources and the cooperative care of the subordinate adults are channeled exclusively to her own genetic legacy. This ruthless behavior, while unsettling to our human sensibilities, is a chillingly effective mechanism for maintaining her reproductive dominance and ensuring the continuity of her lineage, and thus, in a broader sense, the stability of the group. This absolute control over reproduction forms the very cornerstone of the meerkat's complex social order. So given this intense reproductive control and potential for such harsh actions, what are the incentives for subordinate meerkats to remain within the group, and how do they contribute to the clan's overall survival, even when their own reproductive futures are so starkly curtailed? The life of a subordinate meerkat within the clan is a fascinating study in quiet contribution and subtle exclusion. Despite the harsh realities of reproductive suppression, subordinate meerkats play absolutely vital roles in the group's overall survival, particularly in raising the dominant female's offspring. These helpers are the backbone of the cooperative breeding system. They tirelessly babysit the pups while the dominant pair and other foragers are out hunting, protecting the vulnerable young from predators and keeping them warm in the burrow. They bring food back to the pups, teaching them essential foraging skills as they grow. They also contribute significantly to the laborious task of digging and maintaining the extensive network of burrows that serve as the clan's safe haven, protection from the desert's extreme temperatures and predators. Their diligent efforts are essential for the survival and flourishing of the dominant line, ensuring the continuation of the entire clan. For these subordinates, the incentive to stay is primarily survival. A solitary meerkat in the Kalahari is incredibly vulnerable, a tempting target for a myriad of predators. Remaining within the group, even as a non-breeder, offers the immense benefits of collective defense, shared vigilance, and the safety of numbers. However, the cost of subordination is profound. Beyond the suppression of their own reproductive potential, if a subordinate female does manage to give birth, her pups face an almost certain death at the hands of the dominant female. Even if they somehow escape infanticide, they are rarely given the same level of care and provisioning as the dominant pair's offspring, and often perish from neglect or competition. Furthermore, the act of breeding by a subordinate can lead to severe consequences for the female herself. She might face intense persecution from the dominant female, including relentless chasing, biting, and outright eviction from the group. Imagine being cast out from the only family you've ever known, from the safety of the communal burrow into the vast, unforgiving expanse of the desert. Eviction from the clan is often a silent death sentence for a meerkat. A solitary meerkat unaccustomed to fending entirely for itself, without the benefit of shared sentinel duties or the protection of multiple eyes and ears, is incredibly vulnerable to the myriad predators that stalk the Kalahari. Eagles can swoop down from the sky unnoticed, snakes can ambush from the ground, and larger mammals like jackals or even other meerkat groups can pose a fatal threat. A solitary meerkat also struggles immensely to find enough food to sustain itself in such a lean environment, often succumbing to starvation. The very act of expulsion underscores the brutal efficiency of the meerkat social order. Individual reproductive aspirations are completely secondary to the survival and genetic success of the dominant line, ensuring the strongest possible propagation of the group in the face of constant external threats. So, if life as a subordinate is so challenging, enduring suppression and risking expulsion, how do these seemingly small and vulnerable creatures collectively face the formidable dangers of their desert home, given that their internal social structure is so complex? Despite the internal tensions and strict hierarchy, the meerkat clan stands as a remarkable testament to cooperative survival in one of the planet's most formidable environments, the Kalahari Desert. This arid landscape, with its scorching days and freezing nights, its sparse vegetation and its array of dangerous predators, demands unwavering vigilance and highly coordinated action for any small creature to thrive. It is here that the cooperative behaviors, often idealized in our minds, truly become a matter of life and death, an intricate dance against overwhelming odds. The constant threat from the sky, from martial eagles and tawny eagles, and from the ground, from various snakes, jackals, and even other meerkat groups, means that no single meerkat can afford to be complacent. This ever-present danger is what makes their iconic sentinel duty so profoundly important. One meerkat will bravely perch on the highest point available, a termite mound, a rock, or even a low bush, standing tall and motionless, scanning the vast horizon. Its body language alone communicates to the foraging group below. A soft, continuous peep indicates all is well, allowing the others to continue digging for food with their heads down. A sharper, more urgent bark signals a terrestrial threat, prompting the group to bolt for the nearest burrow. A high-pitched, piercing shriek, however, means an aerial predator is diving, sending the entire clan scattering into their burrows with lightning speed. This remarkable division of labor and mutual trust is a cornerstone of their survival, a constant, selfless act of vigilance that protects the entire group. It speaks to a deep, primal understanding of collective safety over individual gain, at least in the face of external threats. Beyond vigilance, their cooperative hunting strategies are equally impressive, particularly when confronting dangerous prey. Scorpions, with their venomous stings, and snakes, with their swift, deadly strikes, are common food sources in the Kalahari. Meerkats, while possessing a degree of immunity to some venoms, do not tackle these creatures carelessly. Instead, they often engage in cooperative hunting, working together to subdue their formidable prey. A group of meerkats might encircle a large scorpion, patiently waiting for an opportunity, or collectively distract a snake, allowing one agile individual to deliver a decisive bite to its head. For scorpions, they have a clever technique. They will repeatedly bite off the scorpion's venomous stinger before consuming the body, often passing the disarmed scorpion among younger, less experienced individuals to teach them this vital skill. This intricate choreography of cooperative hunting, where each individual contributes to overpowering a threat that would be impossible for one meerkat to handle alone, showcases their profound intelligence and the power of their collective action. So with such intricate cooperative strategies for survival against external threats, how does this internal social tension and control over reproduction ultimately impact the long-term health and adaptability of the entire meerkat clan? Especially when individual reproductive futures are so starkly controlled. The paradox of the meerkat clan lies in this delicate and often brutal balance between collective survival and individual suppression. The strict, ruthless social hierarchy, particularly the dominant female's reproductive monopoly and the infanticide of subordinate pups, can be seen as a silent, calculated cost, but one that ultimately benefits the group in the harsh realities of the Kalahari. In an environment where resources can be scarce and threats abundant, ensuring that only the most robust and genetically approved offspring survive can lead to a more cohesive, stronger, and ultimately more successful breeding line. By concentrating all group resources and cooperative effort on one litter, the dominant female maximizes the chances of those pups surviving to adulthood and continuing the lineage. This ensures that the collective effort of the clan is not diluted by too many mouths to feed or too many vulnerable young. From an evolutionary standpoint, the sacrifice of individual reproductive rights for the sake of the group's overall genetic success is a harsh but effective strategy. Subordinates remain in the group because the alternative, solitary existence, is almost certainly fatal. Their best chance of passing on any genes, even indirectly, is by helping to raise their kin, the dominant pair's offspring, who share a percentage of their own genetic material. However, this strict control does come with its own set of quiet, long-term implications. A very small gene pool within a clan, due to limited breeding pairs, can reduce genetic diversity over generations, potentially making the group less adaptable to new diseases or significant environmental changes. While this system works for survival in the short term, its long-term impact on the species' genetic resilience is a silent, ongoing concern for researchers. The ruthless social order of the meerkat, therefore, is not a flaw in their cuteness. but a testament to the profound forces of natural selection, shaping a complex society where the group's propagation often outweighs individual well-being. The charming huddling image of the meerkat thus masks a highly functional, but often profoundly challenging system designed for group survival in a relentless environment. So, as we recognize the complex interplay of cooperation and control in the meerkat's world, what further surprising truths might other seemingly innocent animals conceal beneath their charming exteriors, inviting us to look beyond their gentle facades? The story of the meerkat, from its charming cooperative facade to its surprisingly rigid social hierarchy and the harsh realities of dominance, is a compelling narrative that quietly underscores the scandalous lie of cuteness. It reminds us that appearances can be profoundly deceiving, and that behind the engaging, universally beloved image of these creatures lies a complex, often arduous reality of survival, driven by ancient evolutionary forces. Their cooperative behaviors aren't always born of pure altruism. They are intrinsically linked to a strict social order. Their vulnerability isn't just to predators, it's also to the internal pressures of their own society. Understanding the meerkat's true nature, beyond their captivating charm, deepens our respect and appreciation for the intricate beauty of the natural world. It invites us to consider how species adapt to their environments, often in ways that challenge our anthropocentric notions of what constitutes a good or harmonious society. The meerkat, in its quiet, unassuming way, teaches us a profound lesson. True appreciation goes beyond superficial charm. It requires us to look deeper, to understand the intricate web of life, and to acknowledge the hidden struggles and quiet triumphs of every creature. As the soothing darkness of the night envelops you, or as the soft light of dawn gently awakens the world, allow the image of the meerkat to linger, not just as a cuddly icon, but as a symbol of resilient cooperation, surprising social complexity, and the quiet sacrifices made for the survival of the group. Its story is a quiet reminder that even the most cherished beings navigate a world far more complex than we often perceive. And as you drift further into the embrace of sleep, remember that understanding the true nature of these creatures, beyond their captivating charm, deepens our respect and appreciation for the intricate beauty of the natural world. May your dreams be filled with gentle insights and the quiet wisdom of the wild, until we next meet. As the gentle currents of sleep begin to softly pull at the edges of your awareness, let us drift a little further, carried by the quiet revelation that even the most cherished symbols of cuteness can harbor surprising depths. We have journeyed through icy solitude with seals, witnessed the tireless energy demands of otters, contemplated the hidden power of pandas, and understood the quiet struggles of koalas. Most recently, we gently peered into the intricate social hierarchy of meerkats, discovering that beneath their charming cooperation lies a world of strict control and surprising dynamics. Now, as your breath deepens and your mind calms, allow yourself to return to a more familiar, perhaps even domestic setting, where a creature often found in our homes embodies another fascinating paradox of cuteness: the hamster. Its tiny size, its soft fur, and its seemingly innocent, busy demeanor have made it a beloved companion, a picture of docile charm. But what if this endearing image, this vision of a simple, cuddly pet, conceals a truth far more primal, a side of its existence that reveals a fiercely driven survivalist guided by ancient, sometimes extreme instincts? What if the very cuteness that makes it so appealing also masks an unyielding drive for resource acquisition and a profound territoriality that is rarely seen in our domestic settings? Tonight, we will gently explore the quiet paradox of the hamster, peeling back the layers of its common perception to reveal a creature exquisitely adapted to its wild niche, yet navigating a world where its profound instincts can sometimes clash with the confines of domestication. We'll delve into the very nature of its industrious behaviors, understanding how its gentle appearance belies a relentless, silent drive for hoarding and self-preservation. We'll also consider the delicate balance of its internal world, understanding how seemingly benign conditions can trigger powerful, primal responses. So as you settle deeper into your restful space, let us quietly unveil the hidden facets of this beloved, enigmatic little creature. What if the endearing image of a tiny hamster softly nibbling seeds in its cozy cage, conceals a fiercely driven survivalist, guided by ancient, sometimes extreme instincts. The hamster, in its various species, has become a cherished part of countless households around the world. We picture these tiny, furry companions diligently running on their exercise wheels, meticulously packing their cheek pouches with food, or burrowing contentedly in their bedding. Their small size, their soft fur, and their seemingly docile nature contribute to an image of a low-maintenance, harmless pet, an embodiment of simple, unadulterated cuteness. We observe them with a sense of gentle amusement as they carefully hold a seed in their tiny paws, their whiskers twitching delicately. They appear to be creatures of routine and quiet contentment, easily satisfied by a regular supply of food and a secure, cozy environment. This domestic charm, however, often leads us to underestimate the profound, untamed instincts that still powerfully guide their every action, instincts honed over millennia in the arid landscapes of their wild ancestors. Imagine for a moment the vast difference between a hamster in a comfortable cage with a constant food supply and its wild counterpart, foraging for survival in a sparse desert environment. The cute behaviors we observe in our pets are merely echoes of far more intense, deeply ingrained survival strategies. The diligent burrowing is not just for comfort, it's for profound security from predators and extreme temperatures. The frantic wheel running mirrors the vast distances a wild hamster must travel to find sustenance. These aren't simply endearing quirks, they are manifestations of ancient genetic programming, still pulsing strongly beneath their domesticated veneer. So, beneath this soft, domesticated charm, what ancient, untamed instincts still guide the hamster's seemingly innocent behaviors, particularly when it comes to acquiring and protecting precious resources? And how do these small creatures manage to store so much? At the heart of the hamster's fascinating biological design lies its remarkable capacity for hoarding, an instinct inextricably linked to its unique anatomy, its cheek pouches. These aren't just simple pockets, they are extraordinary, expandable sacs that extend far back along the sides of its head and neck, capable of stretching to an astonishing degree. Imagine, if you will, a tiny creature able to stuff an amount of food equivalent to its own body weight into these internal grocery bags. This incredible physiological adaptation allows the hamster to rapidly collect and transport a substantial quantity of food from a found source back to the safety of its burrow. It's a silent marvel of nature, transforming a small rodent into a highly efficient, mobile pantry. The drive to hoard is not a sign of gluttony, it is a primal imperative, a deep-seated survival mechanism honed in the unforgiving landscapes of their ancestral homes, where food scarcity was a constant, looming threat. In the wild, finding a rich patch of seeds or grains is a rare and precious event. A hamster cannot afford to leisurely consume its find on the spot, risking exposure to predators or the possibility of other foraging animals discovering the bounty. Instead, it must collect as much as possible, as quickly as possible, and transport it to the hidden safety of its underground larder. This relentless drive to collect and store is a form of risk management, ensuring a buffer against lean times, a guarantee of sustenance when food becomes scarce. It's a testament to the quiet, persistent anxiety of survival in a world where every calorie counts and every morsel saved is a victory against the spectre of starvation. This aggressive hoarding, therefore, is not a character flaw, but a deeply practical and intelligent strategy for long-term survival, a behavior passed down through countless generations. So this incredible capacity for hoarding suggests a life where resources are profoundly uncertain. What are the natural behaviors and nocturnal habits of wild hamsters, and how do these deep-seated instincts manifest in their natural desert homes, far from the confines of a cage? To truly understand the hamster's profound instincts, we must gently shift our gaze from the comfortable domestic cage to the austere beauty of its wild origins. Most common pet hamsters, particularly the Syrian hamster, trace their lineage back to the arid and semi-arid regions of Syria and Turkey. Here, the environment is harsh and unyielding, characterized by scorching daytime temperatures, often freezing nights, and a perennial scarcity of surface water and readily available food. In such an extreme world, adaptation is everything. The hamster's most crucial adaptation to this challenging environment is its strictly nocturnal nature. As dusk descends and the desert cools, the hamster emerges from its deep, insulated burrow, its finely tuned senses ready to navigate the quiet landscape. By foraging under the cover of darkness, it largely avoids the intense daytime heat, conserving precious moisture and, crucially, evading the multitude of predators that hunt during daylight hours, such as raptors, foxes, and wild cats. Its acute sense of smell and highly sensitive whiskers become its guides in the moonlit landscape, helping it locate scattered seeds, tender shoots, and occasional insects. Within these vast, often desolate landscapes, wild hamsters are also profoundly territorial. Unlike the social meerkats, many hamster species, especially the Syrian or golden hamster, are fiercely solitary creatures. Each individual establishes and rigorously defends its own intricate burrow system and the surrounding foraging territory. This isn't merely a preference for solitude, it's a survival imperative. Their meticulously constructed burrows, often featuring multiple tunnels, chambers for sleeping, and dedicated storage rooms for their hoarded food, represent their life's work, their sanctuary, and their lifeline. Any intrusion into this personal domain, especially by another hamster, is met with extreme aggression. Encounters between wild hamsters outside of the fleeting breeding season are almost universally hostile. They are not merely disputes, they are often fierce, brutal fights, driven by the instinct to protect their vital resources and their very survival space. These territorial battles can result in severe injuries and sometimes, tragically, even death. This intense solitary nature and territorial ferocity are a stark contrast to the cuddly image we hold, revealing a deep-seated independence and an unyielding will to survive alone against the elements and any perceived threat to their precious resources. So, given their fierce independence and territorial nature in the wild, how does the transition to a domesticated life impact these strong instincts, and what happens when the demands of captivity clash with their primal urges, leading to unexpected behaviors? The stark contrast between the hamster's wild instincts and its common domesticated existence often leads to profound misunderstandings and, at times, to the surfacing of its darker edges, particularly when the animal experiences stress. While we perceive them as docile pets, their centuries of wild survival have deeply ingrained responses that can emerge under certain conditions in captivity. Stress in hamsters can be triggered by a variety of factors. Inadequate cage size, which often fails to provide enough space for their natural roaming and territorial needs. Improper diet, lack of appropriate burrowing material, too much handling, or, crucially, being housed with other hamsters, especially if they are a solitary species like the Syrian hamster. When these environmental demands clash with their primal instincts, hamsters can exhibit behaviors that shock and disturb their human caregivers, behaviors that are, in fact, extreme manifestations of their survival drives. One of the most unsettling, though thankfully rare, behaviors that can occur under immense stress is cannibalism. This is not an act of inherent malice, but a desperate, final resort for survival, typically triggered by extreme duress or a perceived threat to the continuation of their genetic line. Veterinary research and observation show that in hamster mothers, cannibalism of their young can occur if they are severely stressed, if their living environment is too small, if there is extreme food scarcity, or if they perceive their pups to be sick or dying, and thus a drain on precious resources. In wild terms, a mother might make the brutal choice to consume her weakest offspring to preserve the lives of the stronger ones, or to reclaim vital nutrients in a desperate bid for her own survival, ensuring she lives to breed another day. It is a primal, tragic response to overwhelming pressure, a stark reminder of the unforgiving calculus of survival in the wild that can, under adverse conditions, manifest in captivity. The deceptive charm of the hamster lies precisely in this disconnect. Their adorable small size and cute appearance often lead humans to unconsciously underestimate their complex needs and strong, often intense, instincts. We project onto them an innocence and placidity that doesn't fully align with their true nature as fiercely independent, territorial hoarders. This underestimation can inadvertently lead to unsuitable living conditions for our pets, which in turn can trigger the very stress that brings forth these more extreme, primal behaviors. It's a poignant cycle. Our desire for a cute, simple companion can inadvertently create an environment that clashes with the deep-seated needs of a creature perfectly designed for a wild, often solitary, and surprisingly demanding existence. So, these powerful, sometimes extreme, instincts highlight a profound disconnect between our perception of the cute pet and its wild essence. How does understanding these deep-seated behaviors help us care for them better? And what broader lessons can we learn about the hidden lives of seemingly simple creatures, reminding us that there is always more than meets the eye? Understanding the true depth of a hamster's instincts, recognizing the powerful, ancient drives that still reside within these small creatures, allows us to offer them far better, more compassionate care. It shifts our perspective from simply seeing a cute pet to appreciating a complex, highly evolved survivor. For instance, knowing their intense hoarding instinct means providing ample, easily accessible food at all times, preventing the stress of perceived scarcity. Recognizing their territorial nature, especially for solitary species like the Syrian hamster, means ensuring they are housed individually, preventing the stress and danger of forced cohabitation. Providing a large enclosure with deep bedding allows them to fulfill their inherent need to burrow and create intricate, secure underground systems, mimicking their wild homes. Access to an appropriate solid exercise wheel allows them to burn off the vast energy accumulated for their nocturnal foraging runs. This deeper understanding is not just about animal welfare. It's a profound lesson in appreciating the intricate biology and ethology of life itself. The hamster, seemingly so simple, serves as a powerful reminder that even the smallest and most domesticated creatures carry within them the echoes of their wild past, a blueprint of survival shaped by the unyielding forces of nature. Their scandalous lie is not a deception born of malice, but a testament to the adaptive brilliance of life. Their charm conceals a powerful, driven survivor with deep, often intense, primal instincts that are far removed from the docile pet image. By recognizing this, we foster a more respectful relationship, understanding that their true beauty lies not just in their fluffy exterior, but in the enduring strength of their wild spirit. It encourages us to look beyond the immediate appeal and seek the fascinating complexities that lie beneath the surface of all living beings. And so, as we gently bring our journey to a close, allow your mind to drift back through the landscapes we have quietly explored tonight. From the icy solitude where baby seals begin their fierce battle for survival, to the constant, calorie-driven dance of the otters, and the demanding, energy-scarce existence of the koalas in their eucalyptus trees, we peered into the silent, powerful world of the panda, a solitary giant with an unyielding bite, navigating the complexities of reproduction against formidable odds. And we observed the intricate, often ruthless, social hierarchy of the meerkats, where cooperation thrives amidst a strict control over life itself. Finally, we settled with the tiny hamster, revealing its surprising, powerful instincts for hoarding and territoriality, a fierce wildness beneath its domesticated charm. Each of these creatures, seemingly innocent and undeniably cute, has unveiled a truth more profound than their soft exteriors might suggest. They teach us that life in the wild is a constant negotiation, a delicate balance of adaptation, survival, and sometimes quiet struggle. The scandalous lie of cuteness is not a flaw in the animals themselves, but a gentle reminder to us, the observers, to look deeper, to question our assumptions, and to find the astonishing resilience and intricate beauty in every living being. Now, as your awareness begins to soften, imagine a tranquil landscape stretching out before you. Picture a vast, quiet plain under a sky so clear it seems to hold 1,000,000 stars, each one a tiny light guiding you deeper into rest. Feel the soft, cool air as it whispers through ancient trees, carrying the faint, sweet scent of distant blossoms. Hear the gentle, rhythmic sounds of the night, perhaps the distant rustle of leaves, the quiet murmur of a hidden stream, or the soft breath of a creature nestled safely in its burrow. Let these sounds and sensations gently cradle your mind, soothing away any lingering thoughts or tensions. Feel yourself becoming as calm and still as the earth beneath a moonlit sky, knowing that in the intricate dance of life, even hidden struggles contribute to the profound beauty and wisdom of the world. Drift now into a peaceful slumber, carried by the quiet understanding that beneath every charming surface lies a deeper, more wondrous truth. Rest well, knowing that you are part of this vast, interconnected, and endlessly fascinating world.